everybody, and welcome to today's video. Today we are going to be working on a tote bag. So now this is a lot taller than it is wide. So this would be good for like library books, if you're going to the library and getting some reading in. Summer, beach, pool, that kind of like supplies and stuff like that. So that would be good for these. In this video, we will learn how to do a French seam. So making your seams on the inside of your bag, not having the frayed edge showing. So let's get into the video. Okay, here we are with our materials. You will need fabric of any kind. So with this bag here, I used a cotton fabric, did the flamingo for the front and back and the handles. For this bag that I'm going to make, I am going to do this for the body of the bag and then this pink for the handles. So you'll need your cutting mat, your ruler and rotary cutter, pair of scissors, clips or pins, and some matching thread. So we're gonna cut our fabric. Okay, you're going to want to cut your main, whatever you're going to use for your main piece of fabric. Zoom it in a little bit. Wow, okay. Alright, you're going to use your main piece of fabric that you're going to use for the body. For this part of your bag, you're going to cut it in 9 by 16 rectangle, and you need 2. So I'm going to go iron these and I will be right back. Okay, fabric is all ironed, so I'm going to fold to where my salvages are together, and I'm going to line it up and cut off the salvage. Alrighty. Now then, you need a 9 by 16 piece of fabric. You need two of them. So you have 16 this way, so I'm going to fold it back in half. Make sure the bottom, make sure the edge that you just cut is lined up and flat, and line it up down here on the bottom line, on the bottom edge of your mat, then measure up to 9 and cut all the way across. So 9, cut all the way across. So now we have our width of the bag cut. Now we're going to open it back up, trim one edge of your fabric. You can trim both if you would like, but I'm only going to trim one because I'm going to cut over here. So I'm going to trim the fabric, and I'm only doing 1/4 inch off of this one side of fabric. Make sure that you don't have any leftover fray. So then we're going to go on this side of the cutting mat, measure over to 16 here, and we're gonna cut at 16 inches. Okay, and you can either keep the scrap or you can throw it away. So now you have your 2 pieces of fabric for the main part of your bag. So you're gonna fold these up or put them to the side. So I'm just gonna put mine up there. Now you're gonna take your strap fabric, or if you're using the same fabric, you can just take the measurements and cut. So you're going to do the same with your strap fabric. Cut the one salvage for right now. Make sure it's all straight and even. And line it up and cut. Alrighty. So you need 2 16-inch strap pieces. So I'm going to flip my fabric over and I'm going to cut 16 inches right here. 16 inches. So then I have some leftover. That's just going to go to the side. Okay. Now then, you need a 3-inch strap piece. This edge here, it's all frayed and everything, you're going to cut that. So I'm going to pull it down just a little bit and cut at that 0 mark, actually. We're going to fold it in half. It's going to be easier that way. Fold it in half, line it up on any of the 1-inch solid lines, and I'm going to cut a 1/2 inch off because I know I have enough. So okay, cut 1/2 inch off. Now then, while you can leave it folded like this. I'm going to come over here, measure over to my 3-inch mark, and cut all the way up. Line it up and cut. Now you can leave this fabric here. Just pick up your ruler, go over to your 6-inch mark, and cut. Now then you can take your extra piece of fabric and put it away. Now then you have, now this actually gave you 2 pieces, so you do not need that second strip of fabric. So then you have your 2 16-inch straps. Now then, for your strap pieces, I'm going to set up my makeshift ironing board and show you how to make your straps. Okay, so here is my board, my makeshift ironing board. I have my straps here. This is my strap piece. I'm gonna just iron it flat. Okay, now then you're gonna want to fold it in half to where your edges, to where this edge meets the other edge. So you're gonna iron it flat. Okay, so that is going to make a crease when you open it up. So there's a crease. Now then, zoom in on it a little bit. So now here we have our crease. And that's 2, okay. Now we have our crease. We're going to fold one side. We're going to fold one side in half to where the edge meets the crease. We're going to do that on both sides. and iron flat. I'm gonna try and press it down so it stays. Okay, iron it flat. And you can iron one side at a time if it's easier for you. That's gonna be easier for me at the moment. Go back, iron over. Second piece. Now then you're gonna let it cool off before you start messing with it again. I'm gonna try and blow on it. Do my hands around. Okay. Now then, you're gonna take this and fold it in half again. And iron it. Iron it flat. Just like that. I'm going to repeat that on the other piece and then come back. Okay, both straps are done. We're going to take these and set these to the side. Now then you're going to take your two main pieces of fabric and make sure they are ironed good and nice and flat. So I'm just going to go over it again. Alrighty. Now, with the wrong side up, so you can tell this is the right side, this is the wrong side. Wrong side up with one of your edges. So I'm going to choose the straight edge. You're going to just fold it under about 1/2 inch and iron. Okay. And you're going to fold it over again the same width. You're going to fold it over again and iron. Okay, and I'm going to take some clips and just clip it in place. 1, 2, and 3. Now that we're going to do the same on the other one. Make sure it's nice and flat. Nice and flat. Choose your straighter edge and make sure it's on the wrong side. Fold it over about 1/2 inch. About 1/2 inch. And do the same thing again. Fold it over 1/2 inch. Alrighty. And add some clips or pins. Alrighty, so now you have your two pieces of your main fabric and your two straps. You're going to want to take these to the sewing machine and then we will go from there. Okay, you have your fabric here. You're going to want to here straight stitch 1/4 inch all the way around on your strip, on your straps, then on your top piece here, from this part here 1/4 inch, which is going to be about right here, sew down this. So let me see what it's on first. Okay, now that should be a little better to where you can see what I'm doing. Okay, I am going to scoot it this way though. Okay, now then, here we're going to take our main fabric piece and sew 1/4 inch from this edge here. So I'm just going to do back stitch as well. That piece to the side. Do the same with your other piece. Your thread. Okay. Now for your straps, you're going to sew around each edge. So that way you have a stitch on around your whole strap. So let me sew it. It'll make sense. Back stitch as well. So that it comes out looking like this. You're going to want to cut your threads and do the same to the other strap. I'm going to do it this way though. Then you're gonna cut your threads the closest you can. See if I can get it. Okay. On both sides. Okay, there's one. second one. Okay, that one is good. And we have our other bag piece. Alrighty, now we're gonna go back to the table. Okay, now that you have your pieces all sewn together, we are going to put the straps aside for right now. You're going to take your body fabric, put one right side up. So this is my right side. This is going to go up. Actually, no, sorry. This is going to go down. So you're having where you just sewed, you're having the seam facing you. Your other body piece, you're going to put the seam that you just sewed together so that both of your right sides are showing on both sides. You're going to line up your top edges here. Don't worry if the bottom doesn't match up because it's going to be hidden anyways. You're going to pin this side here, the short side on the bottom, and then so you're going to sew both long sides and this bottom short side. So I am going to clip it and take it back to the machine. Okay, now starting at the top here of your fabric, you are going to, let me put the flashlight on so it may help. Okay, you're going to start up here, sewing at the edge of your foot. So we're going to the very top of your fabric. Let me zoom it in and maybe you can see. Okay, the edge of your foot, and you're going to sew all around the edges. Back stitching as well. Turn it and do the same with the bottom edge. Okay, same with this other long side. Now, cut your threads. I'm going to zoom it back out and push my machine back. Okay. Cut all of your threads. So, yeah, you can see this. Okay. Cut all of your threads. And I'm going to use my pinking shears that I have here. Without cutting your seam, you're going to trim your edge here to where it's 1/8 of an inch. So just very slightly, if you did 1/4 of an inch, trim it. So there we go. So that's how it should look like. You don't have to use pinking shears. Actually, I recommend straight edge scissors for this, but mine were in the other room. So now then you're going to do the same with all 3 edges, and we'll be right back. Okay, now we are going to turn it inside out to where the seam that you just sewed is on the inside of your bag. Okay, turn it inside out. Get all my pieces of scrap. Okay, you're going to take something to poke it out with in the corners. I'm just using my fingers right now, but I have skewers, work pretty good too. So you're going to just poke out the corners here. Okay, and kind of flatten it out on your surface. Okay. Now then, those same 3 edges that you sewed, you're going to want to sew 1/4 of an inch again. Grab my sewing machine. Zoom it in again. So you're going to do the same thing on the inside part of your bag. So I'm going to do this. It's not very pulled out. Okay, so cut your threads on both edges. Okay, move that back again. Zoom it out. Flip it back right side out. And now you have made your French seam. So now just check on the outside seams of your bag and make sure there is no little fraying. If there is, it means that it probably did not catch. take my skewer and poke out the corners. So the corners look good. Okay. Now then, yep, it looks all good. Now then, I'm going to grab the handles of the bag and we are going to get started on those. Okay, now this handle of the bag, we're going to just take one handle at a time. You're going to flip the bag inside out, back, inside out. Now then you're going to take one side of your handle, determine how far down and over you would like your handle to be, and I'm just going to take a pen, mark where the bottom needs to go, mark on each side, and then we're going to sew this one in. So let me grab my sewing machine. Okay, have our sewing machine. Now this part is a little tricky. You're going to take your bag and I'm going to take off this part. It's easier that way anyway. Just kind of slip it over that arm of your machine and I'm going to line the handle up with each line that I made on the fabric, starting with the top so it is close to the top as you can. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can go this way. Actually, we're just gonna leave it where it was, because it ain't working that way. Okay, so it's close to the edge as you possibly can. And you're gonna go all the way around, matching the seams that you made on the handle before. Okay, gonna turn your bag. And so, you're gonna turn it again. Trying not to catch the other part of your bag. It's a little tricky not to. Oh, I went too far. Okay, now you're going to flip it back over again. And oh no, oh no, oh no. See, that's what happens when you don't put your foot back down before you sew. Okay, wrong scissors. Okay, I'm going to cut that. Now, geez, let me try and do this. Okay, on the other side, you're going to do the same. Make sure when you line it up that it looks even, or you can measure from the edge if you would like. I'm just eyeballing it. Okay, make sure your handle looks like this so you don't get it all knotted up and it looks kind of weird. Do the same, mark on each edge. I'm going to bring it back over to the machine and do the same thing with this handle. So put your fabric in, line up the handle, and sew it. you're going to repeat this with the other side of the bag. So what I find is easier when doing this, just go ahead and take your pen before, and let's zoom it out. Oh no, that was already zoomed out. Okay, so you're going to take your pen before, and you're going to just mark the edge of each side of your strap, and then on the bottom, so that way you can match it up evenly to your other side. You've already done just like that, and you're going to repeat this process that you did on this side of the bag with your other side, and we'll be right back. Okay, now we have all of the handles sewn on. We're going to cut all of the threads. So we're cutting all the threads. I got the wrong thread. Okay. Now then, that was all the threads on the outside. We're going to flip it right side out. Kind of poke it out with our fingers, or you can use a skewer. A skewer might be easier, for sure. Okay. I am going to poke it out. Poke out my corners. It's not working. Oh, this way, because I was poking in the wrong spot. Okay. Now, cut all the threads on the outside of the bag. Alrighty. Now you have made your very first tote bag. Thank you everybody for watching this video and bearing with me during this video. Next week's video will be a standard size pillowcase. I will put the items needed and fabric and everything in the description below. So yeah, thank you everybody for watching, and I hope you have a great day. Bye!